Well, I can. I'll hit record.
Great.
And our meeting is now live on YouTube.
That's fun. All right.
Okay.
You let me know when you're ready to hit record, and then
All right. I'm going to hit record at 3. 1, 2, 3.
Hello, everyone. I'll wait for a second. Did you know it's a pause? Okay. All right. Welcome, everyone. Tonight we are going to be celebrating the Daphne du Maurier Award for Excellence in Mystery and Suspense for 2021. This has been a long time coming, and we are so excited to have everybody here. I want to share first a note from the board. Maybe I will. There we go. A note from the board.
Hi, I'm Erin Novotny, the president of Kiss of Death. I want to send out a huge congratulations to the finalists and winners of the Daphne du Maurier Kiss of Death contest. I'd also like to extend thanks to Jen Grader and Jackie Renee for co-chairing our contest this year. Our contest wouldn't be possible without their work and the work of Doug Johnson and the coordinators, many judges and entrants. Thank you to all our volunteers who make Kiss of Death amazing.
Thank you, Erin. Tonight, we are going to honor both published and unpublished authors in 8 categories of mystery, suspense, and thrillers, some with and some without romantic subplots. But before we get started, I wanted to extend a personal thanks to Erin. Truly, none of us would be here if Erin had not stepped up to be president. It's no secret that 2020 was a rough time for RWA, and it's no secret that the Kiss of Death chapter would have dissolved if it weren't for Erin and the other intrepid souls that stepped up and fought for this chapter. So I want to thank every single one of the folks that voted to keep KOD around, that volunteered their time, their energy, not only during this huge transition period for the chapter and for RWA National, but they did it all during a pandemic. And I'm just so excited that that is what you decided to do. If we were all together in person, I would insist that everybody stand and give you applause. But since everyone's on mute, I'm just going to say thank you for giving us this chapter so that we get to have our contest. So the Kiss of Death chapter has had a contest going on for so long, nobody can remember when it started. We do know that the contest became known as the Daphne du Maurier Award for Mystery and Suspense back in 1998, thanks to an agreement with the Daphne du Maurier estate. And although she is classed as a romantic novelist, her stories have been described as moody and resonant with overtones of the paranormal, a description that could also apply to many of the entries in this contest. And like many of our authors, her best-selling works were, at first, not taken seriously by critics, but have since earned an enduring reputation for narrative craft. Many have been successfully adapted into films, including Frenchman's Creek, My Cousin Rachel, and Jamaica Inn, and of course, Rebecca. Arguably, her most famous novel was published in 1938. It has never been out of print, and it was recently made into a movie for Netflix that the chapter held a watch party for. She also wrote a number of short stories, including The Birds, which focuses on a series of sudden, unexplained, violent bird attacks. And if that sounds familiar, yes, that was the basis for Alfred Hitchcock's movie of the same name. We are very honored to use her name for this contest. Winning or placing in the competition adds a boost to the entrant's career, not only because our published authors, our published winners get to add award-winning to their book blurbs and bios, but because unpublished finalists have the chance to get their work in front of agents and acquiring editors from major publishing houses. They receive feedback from those publishing professionals, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that later. The contest opened for entries in January, and over the last 6 months, we have had over 100 judges reviewing entries from over 200 authors. There were nearly 900 score sheets completed. And sometimes it did take a few reminder emails, but every single score sheet was completed. And I want to thank every single judge that made that happen. I think it's important to know, though, that the contest isn't defined by numbers. What makes this contest different from all the others is the helpful feedback that's provided by our trained judges. Every judge is encouraged to provide feedback on every single score sheet. I receive messages from authors after the contest closes that thanks us for the thoughtful and insightful feedback they've been able to receive as a result of this contest. And this is, in fact, the reason that the contest exists. I met with members of the board a few months ago, and since I was brand new to the position of co-chair, I really wanted to understand what the expectations were for the contest, especially since we didn't do it last year. I needed to know, was this a fundraiser? And many contests are fundraisers, and that is an absolutely legitimate choice. Was this something that they wanted to provide, specifically for chapter members, or was it something else? And what they said is that the goal of the contest is to help authors become better writers. They want every single person that enters, not just the finalists, but every single person to learn something about their writing. And this is the reason that we worked so hard to bring the contest back. And this is the reason that we are going to continue to offer it. Oops. There. Now, while the contest is about much more than numbers, it absolutely couldn't happen without the fantastic contest website and the man that keeps it all running. Doug Johnson is the brains behind the database, and we are truly grateful for everything that he's done to make this contest possible. Thanks, Doug. I hope you're out there. Members of the board provided, not just Erin, but other members of the board provided some messages for you guys. Hi, everyone. I'm Michelle Bennington, KOD VP of Communications. I'd like to congratulate all the finalists and winners, both published and unpublished. I'd like to thank everyone who submitted to the Daphnes this year. It takes courage to share your work and to put yourself out there. I honor that. I also want to offer my heartfelt gratitude to all the judges and volunteers who work hard to make this contest possible every year. You all rock. And let's see.
Hi, I'm Rami Gallant, your KOD Secretary for 2021, and I just want to say congratulations to all of the finalists and winners.
And I want to say thank you to Rami as well. Throughout the presentation, you'll see that there are videos from a number of different people, and Rami was our transcriber. She made sure that all of them were.
Hi, I'm Rami Gallant.
Rami made sure that we could read all of them in addition to being able to watching the videos, because there's always a chance the video won't work. Yay for technology. I wanted to say thank you to our judges. Their time, their insight, their honesty, and their encouragement. I especially want to thank all those speed reading souls that volunteer for the emergency judge list. You guys are absolutely my heroes. And this is a message from
Hello,
Helen.
everyone. My name is Helen Stavropoulos, and I am the Kiss of Death Director of Pro. I wanted to thank all of the contest committee members for all the hard work in putting on this contest. I also wanted to congratulate the finalists and winners. Hello, everyone. My name is Helen.
All right, we're going to get the hang of this. There we go. And this is a message from the treasurer. Hi, everyone. I'm Christiana, the Kiss of Death treasurer. I wanted to thank the contest committee, Jen, Jackie, and all the volunteer staff. Without you, we would not have a contest. I offer my congratulations to all of our finalists and to our winners, both published and unpublished. I have been in your shoes, and I know how amazing it can be when you get that call and how nerve-wracking it is waiting to hear where you landed. Enjoy every step of the ride. Be true to your heart and keep writing. The next group I want to thank, and I promise we're going to get to the finalists here next, but the next group I wanted to thank is our final round judges. Our unpublished, like I talked about before, our unpublished contest gets a second round of judging from publishing professionals, and we were thrilled to be able to bring this kind of attention to our finalists. For the romantic, mystery, and suspense category, we had agents Crystal Orazu from the Context Literary Agency, Don Dowdle from the Blue Ridge Literary Agency, and Gina Panettiere from the Talcott Notch Literary Agency, along with editors Julie Sturgeon from Thule Publishing and Mary Altman from Sourcebooks. For the mainstream mystery and suspense category, we had agents Latoya C. Smith from LCS Literary Services, Paul Maurier from Talcott Notch Literary Agency, Stephanie Evans from Aisha Pand Literary Agency, as well as editors Sinclair Sahini from Thule Publishing and Rachel Gilmer from Sourcebooks. As a direct result of finaling in the Daphne du Maurier Awards, some of our finalists were asked to submit a full manuscript. Some got requested to have a chat with the author, or they were asked to submit other work. We truly hope that these manuscripts that will be entered in the published categories very soon. So without further ado, let's talk about our finalists. In the unpublished division, the Daphne du Maurier Award for Excellence in Mystery and Suspense is open to all writers who have never been published in book-length fiction. That's for 40,000 words or more. All work must be the entrant's original work and cannot be contracted for publication prior to entering the contest. We have two categories in the unpublished division. And so first up is mainstream. Our mainstream finalists are Liz Angus for Not Your Child, Liz Boger for Applejack, AJ Blythe for To Clutch a Killer, BF Daly for The Client List, Rami Gallant for The Alibi Scheme, and Ruth Kanafo Seton for Zigzag Girl. And in third place, our mainstream unpublished finalist is Applejack by Liz Boger. I have a few lines from the opening of Liz's work. The phone rang as I reached for my cold coffee, rocketing another jolt of adrenaline to my last nerve. It had been a challenging day at my rural Florida school. Parent complaints, unfilled teacher absences, and a false fire alarm, all before the first bell. As I reached for the phone, my hand slipped, coffee sloshed over the rim, speckling the surface of several requisitions on my desk. I grabbed a tissue to mop the mess. The caller ID allowed me 2 seconds to brace for impact. Moccasin Grove Elementary, Principal Anna Campbell speaking. How may I help you? What's with all the commotion out there, Campbell? You might let that deputy off his leash long enough to make the neighborhood rounds. My bad penny was in sparring form. Liz, take it away. Do we not have Liz online?
I just want to thank everyone. Thank you, judges, for your time, your expertise in reviewing the submissions. That means so much. And I'm so eager to read your comments and feedback so I can make my word even better. I look forward to improving it so that my Moccasin Cove series becomes a reading vacation destination for everyone. Writing contests like this provide very credible critiques and are invaluable for unpublished authors like myself. And so thank you for the massive effort and love you put into this contest, Jen, Jackie, and Aaron, and the entire chapter. I cannot thank you enough.
Thank you, Liz. Congratulations. Second place for unpublished mainstream, Not Your Child by Liz Angus. Daniel almost didn't notice the two girls that morning. He was busy reattaching Tucker's leash to keep him close. In dog years, Tucker was older than Daniel's 63, but he still tried to run like a pup. Daniel relaxed against the park bench, the October sunshine warming his shoulders, idly listening to bird calls and the nearby Ottawa traffic. But something about the girls caught his eye. At first, just that they were there, walking on the other side of the narrow downtown park. Not quite teenagers, as far as he could tell, still at that coltish age. One girl with dark hair, one blonde. They chattered to each other as they approached. Then, one of them laughed, the blonde with the bouncy ponytail, and he froze, spellbound. That face, that hair, that dancing figure, it was like seeing Kelly again. That's how she moved as a young teen, all loose arms and legs, partway between gawky and graceful. And the laugh, Kelly laughed like that, just like that. Liz, congratulations on second place.
Thank you so much. I am absolutely amazed and totally thrilled. And I'm not going to say much. I just want to say congratulations to all of the other finalists. I know that we've all spent the last few weeks just being thrilled to be on this. And we so thank you and the committee for all the work you've put into this. And I look forward to seeing the published versions of all my co-competitors or co-entrants books once they're published.
Great, congratulations, Liz. And now, the unpublished mainstream winner, Zigzag Girl by Ruth Tinafo-Seton. As I open midnight's gargoyle-encrusted doors, my phone buzzes with a message from Van. Emergency, start without me. Under an enormous spiderweb, I text back. What's wrong? Do you need help? What I really want to say is, message does not compute. It's opening night, girl. Get your ass over here. While I give Van a minute to explain her emergency, I stare at Midnight's glittering red, black, and gold casino. Atlantic City Boardwalk's playground for goths, vamps, and zombies. Bats swoop in from high ceilings and spiderwebs lace down the walls. Whenever the slot machines hit a winning number, dogs and wolves howl through the loudspeakers. Congratulations, Ruth.
Oh, thank you so much. I was kind of in a, thank you so much, Kiss of Death, and all the judges to win the Daphne Award, especially because it's named for one of my writing heroes. My first writing heroes is a dream come true. My romantic suspense novels have been my favorite books since I was about 14. And even though romance is not the core of this novel of Zigzag Girl, it is. There are so many love stories, and writing it, I was trying very hard to make the dance of love as dangerous and potentially lethal as the dance of murder. And that was my goal, trying to emulate the greats in this field. I learned a lot about magic and magicians and Atlantic City and crime, and I'm so excited about this book. I just want to say something here. When I was 9, I wrote in my diary that I wanted to be a writer when I grow up. It's been a long and winding road, and filled with triumphs and filled with setbacks, but I never swerved from my path. And one of the strongest things for me has been this sense of community that I discovered later after many years of writing alone. Kiss of Death, Sisters in Crime, my own Guppies chapter, RWA, such a source of inspiration and wisdom and support, a wonderful community that helps us all to believe in ourselves and in each other. And I just want to say to everybody in this virtual space tonight, writers, readers, finalists, judges, we're all in this together. And thank you, sisters.
Ruth, that was beautiful. Thank you so very, very much.
Thank you.
And congratulations.
Thank you.
When I was preparing for the ceremony, one of the things that I did is I reached out to all of the finalists and asked them if they had any advice that they would like to share with everyone. And I was so excited to see what kinds of things people said. I asked them about their advice and a couple other topics, and we'll get to those in a minute. Allison McKenzie sent in her best advice. When editing, keep the bits that intrigue you and light you up, for they reflect the magic and creativity that you have to offer. Follow those wherever they take you. But when you find any boring scenes, delete those from your page right now. They have no place in your writing. You want tension on every page. Every page. Excellent advice. Abigail Burke, she wrote in and said, the best advice I've ever received was about dialogue. Don't use long or complicated words. They're awkward to read and they only interrupt the reader's flow. Once you wrote a dialogue, read it aloud and see if it sounds unnatural or staged, and then rewrite it. Also great. And BF Daily sent us a video.
This is BF Daily. The best writing advice I ever got was to get feedback and get it from multiple perspectives. That's what's great about the Kiss of Death contest, going to writing conferences, writers groups. And what you're going to find is maybe not even all of it pertinent, but what you will find is there's good and bad, and you can find themes that crop up if you get multiple perspectives of feedback. And then those themes will tell you this is good, this is maybe not so good. And that's what really helped me. And it was great advice.
That's awesome.
This is BF.
So one of the other questions I asked our finalists is, what was the first book that you read that made you a fan of mystery and suspense novels? So Amy, this is Amy O'Brien.
The first suspense novel I loved was Daphne du Maurier's The House on the Spring. When she killed a key character off 2/3 of the way through the book, I was hooked on suspense forever.
I love that. Yeah, when in doubt, kill somebody. Haley Cross says, the first romantic suspense I remember falling in love with is Linda Howard's All the Queen's Men. I loved the tough, capable heroine and the military veteran hero determined to hide the great big heart underneath his alpha persona. Oh, melting. But I was especially intrigued by the villain. He was such a three-dimensional, real person with feelings and problems that you can't help but empathize with. And all of that leaves you feeling torn about what happens to him in the end. That is the mark of a great villain. The third question option that I gave our finalists is to mention a person that encouraged them in their writing. And Kara Putman said, when I was a teenager and considering writing books, I sent letters to many authors asking for advice. Many wrote me back, including Jeanette Oak, Frank Peretti, and Madeline Langle. However, Sandy Dengler would read my short stories and encourage me to keep writing. It was a thrill to send her my first published book many years later. I try to pay it forward by mentoring other aspiring writers and helping their dreams come true. Kara, thank you for what you're doing for our new writers out there. That's fantastic. And thank you very much to Sandy Dengler. Otherwise, we may not have Kara as one of our finalists this year. All right, now we're going to talk about the unpublished romantic suspense finalists. We have Hunter's Treasure by Abigail Burke, The Long Norwegian Night by Christine Gunderson, The Ash Gardens by J. Ember Hintz, Damn the Moon by Amy Lauren, Kiss of Life and Death by L. McKay, and The Unexpected Hostage by A. E. Mackenzie. And third place in the unpublished romantic suspense category goes to Damn the Moon by Amy Lauren. Jagger's worst enemy was his body. It wanted all sorts of things, mainly to transform into an ugly wolf thing and devour humans. Damn, why did livers have to taste so delicious? So tender. Not that he'd given a human so much as a paper cut for the last 6 years. Jagger swallowed awkwardly and adjusted himself on the steel chair, hands cuffed behind him. Yeah, waking up in a prison was not the best start to the day. Amy?
Wow. This is very unexpected. I fully came in not prepared because I was just happy to be a finalist. So thank you very much to everyone. This is really, really cool. And I'm looking forward to reading all the feedback and congratulating everyone here. Thank you.
Congratulations, Amy. Second place in the unpublished romantic suspense category is Hunter's Treasure by Abigail Burke. Sweat ran down my back, not from hot tropical air, but from the realization that I was lost in the ocean on a sailboat with a drunkard for a captain. I should have known better than to sail in the South Pacific on a whim. This was my father's dream, not mine, but here I was. I tried to focus, tried to remember that every challenge could be turned into a learning opportunity, but it didn't work. The only wisdom I could extract from the situation was not to trust strangers and not to be so cheap the next time I planned a voyage, if there was a next time. Congratulations, Abigail.
Thank you. I'm gonna read it all because I'm very nervous. And I want to apologize if my accent makes my speech very hard to understand. And when I'm nervous, it happens. And as I said, I'm very nervous right now. And also I talk fast. And if you can't understand me at all, it's probably because my nerve takes over and I probably speak Russian. And since I don't see your faces much, so I don't know if you have, what is she saying? But this is enormous honor to be a part of this award and be a finalist and actually win something. And when I wrote Hunter's Treasure, I didn't dream to win any award. So thank you so much, the Kiss of Death chapter, for this opportunity. And thank you for judges. And a tremendous thank you to my dear husband, Burke, for his endless support and encouragement, and for not complaining too much when I brought my imaginary characters into bed along with my laptop. And also thank you to my critique partners for your brilliant suggestion. I know some of them are watching this right now, and without them, I would not be here. And again, thank you so much, Kiss of Death chapter, for this opportunity, and thank you, judges. And was the last thing, I always thought that English as my second language will keep me from achieving anything in writing, but you've proven me wrong, and now I feel braver and I'm better equipped to find more treasures in the publishing world. So thank you, and have a great weekend, I guess.
Fantastic. That was fantastic. And the winner in the unpublished romantic suspense category is The Long Norwegian Night by Christine Gunderson. Sigrid Bjornsson was a punctual person before the Germans invaded Norway, but now she was always late, thanks to the checkpoints that choked Oslo's intersections. This was ironic, given the Nazi emphasis on order and timeliness. This current checkpoint was particularly irritating. Maybe it was the time of day, late afternoon, right before supper, and Sigrid, busy all day helping her aunt polish the silver and iron the linen, had eaten nothing but a piece of lefse and some pickled herring. Perhaps it was the month. Bleak, unlovable January sat smack in the middle of the long, dark marathon that was winter in Norway. Or maybe it was the year. Last week, 4 Jewish men were lined up and shot by a firing squad in Trondheim. 1942 was off to a very bad start. Congratulations, Christine.
Thank you so much. Gosh, I'm shocked. I was a judge and I read so many fantastic entries, and I just thought there's no way. You guys put together such an amazing contest, and when you final in the Daphnes, you feel like you're an Oscar nominee. And I just appreciate so much all that the board has done to make this just a truly special experience. It's hard to be unpublished. It's hard to keep going amid all the rejection and to keep writing and to keep hoping. And finally in the Daphne and winning the Daphne, you guys gave me a shot of hope. So thank you.
I'm so glad. That's wonderful. Congratulations again, Christine. Alexis Craig offered this advice. My dad told me, tell the best story you can and get an editor you can trust. You're not married to the words, you're married to the story. That's really fantastic advice. And Nancy Mel said this: the best advice I ever received was to study the craft of writing. Too many writers launch without really knowing what they're doing. I took a year off and read everything I could about the craft of writing before sending out manuscripts. It was still an uphill battle, but I believe it made the difference. I'm convinced that those with knowledge have a better chance to succeed. And the best advice from Alexandra Joel: lock your critics in the shed. This advice came from a terrific Australian author and teacher, Patty Miller. It really helped clear my head of all those disparaging comments. It's so easy to imagine, with one's inner critic being the most damning of all. Patty's advice allowed me to go to far deeper places, to be more authentic and daring. And AJ Blythe said this about the book that made her a fan.
When I was 13, I read Twice Shy by Dick Francis and fell in love with it and subsequently all his books. And they now sit on I'll partly them over my dead body bookshelf. Like all Dick Francis books, this one's about a humble everyday boy who, through no fault of his own, is plunged into a life or death mystery, whereupon he decides to fight back. It's delivered with humour and tight descriptive writing. It's no wonder I absolutely love cozies. I write them myself now.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, AJ. And the book that made Tony Anderson a fan, the first mystery suspense that totally blew my mind was The Defiant Hero by Suzanne Brockman. I fell in love with that book and glommed everything she'd ever written. I love the suspense plot, but mix that up with an intense romance, catnip for my soul. I think we all agree with you on that one, Tony. And Liz Boger had somebody encourage her. Other than my mom, I'd have to tag Writer's Digest contributing editor Elizabeth Sims as my encourager in chief. Oh, I like that title. I met her at my first writing conference, FWA, in 2013. I was seeking feedback on the premise of Applejack and the Moccasin Cove series potential. Her enthusiasm for my writing sample and premise confirmed my course. Since then, she's taken on the role of mentor, coach, editor, and is an all-around swell person to have in my universe. Ah, what a wonderful thing. So, congratulations to everybody that entered the unpublished contest, and I hope we see you in this next division, the published division, very soon. The Daphne du Maurier Award for Excellence in Mystery and Suspense published edition is open to book-length fiction of 40,000 words or more that was published in 2019 or 2020. As I mentioned, we didn't have the contest last year, so we wanted to make sure that it was open for anybody that missed out. We have 8 categories in the published division this year, and after we make those announcements, I will announce the 2 overall winners at the end. And so our finalists in the mainstream published division are The Study of Secrets, Lila McLean, Academic Mysteries #5 by Cynthia Kuhn. No One Saw by Beverly Long. 10 Days Gone, also by Beverly Long. In Her Shadow by Kristen Miller. And Flight Risk by Kara Putman. And in third place, we have Beverly Long, 10 Days Gone. Congratulations, Beverly.
Well,
oh, shoot, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just wanted to say thank you so much. And I'm thrilled to have been a participant in the contest. And I am appreciative of all the judges and the coordinators. And it's always been a pleasure to be a participant in this very fine contest. So thank you.
Thank you, Beverly. So, sorry about that little spoiler here, but our mainstream, our mainstream second place is Kara Putman for Flight Risk. Congratulations, Kara.
Is Kara here?
That's okay. So now we have our winner for the published mainstream category, and that is In Her Shadow by Kristen Miller. Congratulations, Kristen.
Wait. Okay, thank you guys so much. I have all of my family and friends here, so I had to wait. They're all screaming around me. So I can't fully express what this honor means to me. Rebecca, my favorite novel of all time, was partially inspired in her shadow. This moment, above all in my publishing journey, will be one that I'll cherish forever. So thank you guys so much. Thank you to the Kiss of Death chapter, its chairs and judges for organizing this and keeping it running. I would like to thank my agent, Jill Marshall, my editors at Valentine, Kate Misiak, and Alyssa Matisik, for having the vision to see what this book could really be and for staying with me along the journey. Thank you to my mom, my friends and family who came here today to support me. And finally, and most of all, to my husband, Justin, and my children, Kelly and Gavin, for believing in me. I love you guys so much. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Oh, I love it. Congratulations, Kristen. That's great. And I love that we've got an audience for you. That's great. That is something a little bit different about this year, but we're just going to keep rolling with it. Katie Reyes had some advice to share. Write the draft and worry about everything else later. You can edit and fix things, but you've got to get the story down first. And Linda Lappin says, the best writing advice I received was a comment dropped during a workshop. Quoting Henry Miller, the leader said, the writing is its own reward. The meaning of this quote, I think it was supposed to be quote, continually shifts for me. One interpretation is, writers have the privilege of creating alternative worlds, which then come to life. The more energy you invest in that world, the more vivid it becomes, and the more you grow as a writer. That's the reward. That's beautiful, Linda. Thank you. And M. Scott Swanson has some advice for everyone.
The best writing advice I ever got was from my wife. I came home one day and I was complaining about a book that I'd been reading. I didn't think the storyline was accurate. I thought the book was rather boring. Unfortunately, that happened to be one of my wife's favorite books. So she immediately said, if you think you can do better, do it. So for the last 20 years, that's what I've been trying to do, is to write a better book.
Congratulations, M. Scott Swanson, and tell your advice. Thank you on our behalf. Sarah Davison wrote in to talk about the book that made her a fan of mystery and suspense. I love the Bobbsey twin mysteries. While I was reading under the covers with a flashlight, those kids were out facing danger and bringing down bad guys. Those twins are the reason that I became a suspense writer, even though in real life I despise conflict. I am, after all, a Canadian and a middle child peacemaker. From them, I learned I could face danger and bring down the bad guys vicariously through stories, including the ones I write myself. That's fantastic, Sarah. And Raimi has a great story about someone that encouraged her.
Hi, I'm Raimi Gallant. I'm one of the finalists in the mainstream category of the unpublished division for the Daphne du Maurier Award for Excellence in Mystery Suspense. I'd like to answer the question about someone who gave me encouragement. So my fifth grade teacher, Mrs. McDonald, she asked the class to write, I believe it was a 10-page story. Mine ended up being 28. Interesting reading that all these years later. So she was so impressed with the length of my story that she laminated it. She was for the other students, but she put it in the library. And I just wanted to put out that only one person ever checked it out, my best friend. Thanks.
Thank you to all of the teachers out there that provide the encouragement, especially in this very crazy last year, and to all of the best friends that support us. Next, we have our paranormal published finalists. We have A Killing Moon by Alexis D. Craig, Bishop's Gambit by McKenna Dean, Loving Mogdiliani The Afterlife of June Habuchan. Sorry, Linda laughing. And, oops, oh shoot. There we go. And Just in Time by N.J. Litza, and Foolish Beliefs by M. Scott Swanson. And in third place, we have N.J. Litz. NJ was not able to be here with us tonight, but I'm sure she's very excited. And in second place, we have McKenna Dean with Bishop's Gambit. Congratulations, McKenna.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I have to say that I did not prepare anything because I was stunned and honored to be a finalist. And I thought, well, that's as far as that's going to go. So I'm just so grateful that I'm grateful for my husband's support. He is my #1 fan and believer in what I do. And I'm grateful for the friend that said, you really need to submit it to the Daphne Awards. And I'm glad that I took her advice. So, and I'm really appreciative of the level of work that it takes to pull a contest like this together and make it the success that it is. So thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. And our thanks to your friend that told you to submit to the contest. We do need those best friends in our lives to push us a little farther. And the winner for the published paranormal category is A Killing Moon by Alexis B. Craig.
Oh, MG. Okay. Whew.
I love it.
Whew. My sister's on the phone. My sister and my publisher are on the phone. And so I'm trying to keep the screaming to a minimum. I had to mute them because there was going to be screaming. And okay. They're quite excited. I have some prepared words. Wow. I'm glad I wrote things because my brain is blown right now. Thank you guys. Thank Kiss of Death for the award. This is amazing. When I got the call, I kind of lost my mind a little bit because I, #1, forgot that I'd submitted, and #2, did not expect to get this far. So this is amazing. So I'd like to thank my family, my mom and my husband, who are endlessly patient with me for when I'm writing and editing, which is all the time. My sister Crow, who tolerates my hyperness and is a fantastic beta reader. I'm really sad that my dad isn't here to see this, but I know that he'd appreciate it. Dad loved mystery novels, and this is fantastic. I'd like to thank Shy, who is my publisher, for basically drop kicking me out of my writing funk and demanding that we have an adventure. And this is a hell of an adventure. My editors, Elizabeth Lance and Lori Whitwam, for being amazing. My cover designer, Rebecca Poole, over at Dreams to Media. She does fantastic work. And thankful finally for the Feral Cows, my writing group that I started with way back in the day. And that's Kelly, Annie, Pauline, and Susan, who actually, support 24-hour friendship and also amazing adventures. So thank you all very much. Oh my gosh.
Congratulations, Alexis. That was very cool.
Thank you.
I love that you have some folks around you that are celebrating with you. This is awesome. Cynthia Kuhn had some really fantastic advice to share. The best piece of writing advice I ever received is good writing is rewriting. When finding a way through that uncertain first draft, it's reassuring and freeing to remember there will be a deep revision phase ahead. And Amanda McKinney had this fantastic advice.
The best piece of writing advice that I have ever come by is you can fix a bad page, but you cannot fix a blank page. This advice given by the one and only, the queen of romance, Nora Roberts herself. Good advice to live by. Cheers.
When in doubt, always listen to Nora Roberts. And I'm so glad that your dogs were able to make an appearance. Evelyn Hill had this to say about the book that made her a fan. The first mystery suspense novel that I read was The House with a Clock in Its Walls by John Ballard. I can still remember the spooky atmosphere that Ballard created out of the dangers that lurked in silence and shadows. He let a child use her imagination to fill in the details, and that made the experience of reading powerful and memorable enough that I can still recall how he made me feel decades after I read the book. That sounds like a fantastic book. And Virginia Vaughn had this to say.
So the first book that I ever read in the mystery and suspense genre was The Ghost of Harold by Willow Davis Roberts. I picked it up when I was a teenager and read it in like a day or less. After that, I was hooked. I loved the strong heroine. I loved the hint of danger and a great mystery to solve. It was just a lot of fun.
That's fantastic. I feel like somewhere I need to be making a list of all of these and add them to my TBR, because heaven knows my TBR is not tall enough yet. Kristen Miller had our winner from earlier. Kristen Miller had this to say about her encourager. My husband has been the greatest supporter. When our daughter was very young, I lost my desire to read. The tragedy. My husband suggested I take the whole day to myself, walk through Barnes & Noble, and search for a book that would thrill me. When I came home empty-handed and told him the book I was searching for didn't exist, he said, "Why don't you write it?" Those simple words and his unwavering faith in me changed everything. We do love a supportive spouse. Next, we have our published historical finalists. We have The Princes of the Lower East Side by Meredith Allison. The Cartographer's Secret by T. Cooper. A Dangerous Observer by Amanda DeWeese. Lovely Digits by Janine Engbert. And The Work of Art by Mimi Matthews. And third place for the historical published category goes to Meredith Allison for The Princes of the Lower East Side, Book 2 in the Scalisi family saga. Congratulations, Meredith. No Meredith today? That's okay. I'm sure she'll be very excited when she finds out. Oh, we do have a Meredith?
I'm here.
Oh, that's wonderful. Congratulations, Meredith.
Sorry, I can't get my video to work.
We can see you.
You can. Okay. I am very excited. Thank you so much to RWA, to the Kiss of Death chapter, to the judges. I really appreciate the time that you spent reviewing our work. I'm terrible with speeches, so I'll try to make this brief. I would also like to thank my editor, Michelle Morgan. It takes a very special person to sit with these characters and the oftentimes terrible things that I make them do, but see the blood-covered gold in the words anyway. And no one could ask for a more encouraging, kind editor than Michelle, and I am doubly lucky because I get to call her my friend. So thank you so much, Michelle, for pushing me when I needed it. And thank you so much for your unwavering support and love. I'd also like to thank my proofreader, Jenny Hansen. She has always been there for me whenever I've needed her, which oftentimes is at the 11th hour, which happens more times than I'd like to admit. So thank you so much, Jenny, for your eagle eye. I really appreciate you. And finally, I would like to thank my husband for his steadfast belief in and support of me and my talent, even when I can't see it myself sometimes. I'd like to thank my family who is watching right now for their encouragement and acceptance of me being the weird, artsy, nerdy one in the family that I've always been. And I need to thank my best friend of over 25 years, Sade, for being my first fan and always knowing in her soul that I could do this. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Congratulations, Meredith. Second place in the historical published category goes to Amanda DeWeese, A Dangerous Observer. Congratulations, Amanda.
Thank you. thank you to Kiss of Death and the judges and coordinators. This is really lovely. I think like a lot of writers I know, this has been a really difficult year creatively. And so to get this validation is really wonderful. Thank you very much.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, Amanda. Congratulations again. And the winner for the historical published category is T. Cooper for The Cartographer's Secret. Now, T could not be with us tonight, but she did send a few words for me to read. How I wish I could be with you tonight. I feel incredibly honored and thoroughly excited to see an Australian story recognized tonight. A huge thank you to the RWA, the organizers, and the judges of the competition. The Cartographer's Secret recognition wouldn't be possible without my Australian publisher, Joe McKay, and the amazing team behind HQ Fiction. My brilliant and long-suffering editor, Alex Craig, the wonderful cover artist, Darren Holt of HarperCollins Design Studio, who captured the mood of the story so perfectly, and all of the people who helped me take my initial manuscript through to publication. The Cartographer's Secret is a story very close to my heart. Much of it is set in the place I now call home, and as a longtime fan of Daphne du Maurier, this award is particularly meaningful. I spent many of my teenage years in Cornwall, perched on a cliff top, brooding over everything she'd written. Thank you, and congratulations to all the finalists. Enjoy your evening, everyone. So congratulations again to T. Cooper. Now we have some advice from our finalist, Amanda DeLuise. The best piece of writing advice I've ever gotten was 3 words from Lawrence Locke. Do it anyway. Even when I'm convinced that what I'm writing is dreck, I know I must keep going. Later, I'll probably find that it's not nearly as bad as I thought in the moment, or that it can be salvaged with editing. Even if I have to throw it out, at least I've given myself something to work with. That is excellent advice. McKenna Dean says, there's a graphic that circulated on Tumblr a few years back depicting an author or artist carrying a modest cake approaching a table on which a very elaborate cake already sits. The author says, "Aw, man, that guy's cake is way better than mine." In the next panel, someone walks up to the table carrying a plate and exclaims, "Holy cow, 2 cakes!" Whenever I get discouraged, I remind myself of the delight in 2 cakes. I agree, 2 cakes are always fantastic. Next, we have some advice from Patricia Bradley.
Hi there, I'm Patricia Bradley, and I am so pleased to be here. One of the best pieces of advice I was ever given was to never give up. For someone who took over 20 years to be published, it was very important. So I want to encourage anyone out there who is writing and very discouraged to just learn the craft and keep writing.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Patricia. Mimi Matthews wanted to share this book. When I was a teenager, I bought a paperback copy of Death on the Nile, sparking a lifelong love affair with Agatha Christie mystery. I adored every page of it, the dialogue, the descriptions, the exotic setting. I especially loved the denouement where the Belgian detective Hercule Poirot, oh my gosh, how could I get his name on? Poirot explained how the crime was committed. Since then, I've read and reread all of Christie's novels, but this one still holds a special place in my heart. Thank you so much, Mimi. And from T. Cooper, oh yes, I remember very clearly being given The 9 Coaches Waiting by Mary Stewart during a very wet and rainy summer holiday in England. I must have been about 13 or 14, and by the time the holiday was over, I had read every one of Mary Stewart's books. Mystery, intrigue, gothic settings, a dash of romance, and some armchair travel, all of my favorite ingredients. Oh, that does sound fantastic. especially after a year spent inside. And Elle McKay had this to say about her encourager. Following my first RWA meeting, I was invited to a weekly critique group. Those poor ladies suffered through my first manuscript, even though the promising start devolved into a hot mess. With their feedback, I improved my craft and had the confidence to start over. Contemporary romance author Tracy Livesey was one of those ladies, and I thank her especially for her constant encouragement and willingness to say what I didn't want to hear. That is fantastic. What a gift, Elle. Next, we are going to talk about our inspirational finalists. So the finalists for this category are Standoff, The Natchez Trace Park Rangers by Patricia Bradley, Lost Down Deep by Sarah Davison, Dangerous Deception by Evelyn M. Hill, Dead End by Nancy Mell, Danger on the Ranch by Dana Mentink, and The Haunting at Bonaventure Circus by Jamie Jo Wright. And in third place for the inspirational published category, we have The Haunting at Bonaventure Circus by Jamie Jo Wright. Congratulations, Jamie.
Thank you so much.
Yay.
It's an honor to be a part of this, and I just really appreciate everybody and my agent, Janet Grant, and all the people at Bethany House Publishers, and the writers that I am up against in this category are all awesome. So I really appreciate this opportunity.
Fantastic. And in second place for inspirational, we have Danger on the Ranch by Dana Mentink. Congratulations, Dana.
Well, thanks so much. I'm stunned and delighted. And I just want to say thank you for, keeping this going, because that's kind of the spirit of pandemic, right? We had so many things taken away, and it took great courage to figure out a new way to do these contests and to keep things running. So thank you. That shows us that we can persevere and we will persevere. So thank you so much, and congratulations to everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, Dana. Congratulations to you. And now we have the winner in the inspirational category, and that is Dead End by Nancy Mell. Nancy could not be with us tonight, but she did send along a few words of thanks just in case. Thank you to the Romance Writers of America Mystery and Suspense chapter for this prestigious award. I appreciate everything RWA does to support and advance writers. I need to also thank my editors, Rayla Schoenherr and Jean Bloom at Bethany House Publishers. I'm so sorry I couldn't be with you this evening. Thanks to the awesome Jennifer Graviel for volunteering to read my words of gratitude. Aw, thank you. That was nice. And for guiding me through what was needed for tonight. Congratulations to all the other finalists and winners. I once heard a well-known mystery writer say that mystery and suspense novels present stories of good versus evil. I love that analogy, and I'm honored to be one of you. Congratulations again, Nancy. Lena Diaz had this wonderful advice to say. Always remember it's your story, your name on the book. Don't ever let someone else talk you into writing something you don't love or that you won't be proud of years later. Once a story is published, it's out there forever. It's your legacy. Make sure it's a legacy you don't regret. Oh, that is really good advice. And Meredith Allison had this to say. The best piece of writing advice I've ever received, and I'm paraphrasing, came from one of my MFA professors and went something like this. Don't do this unless you're brave enough to go down into the deepest, darkest hole and come back with the truth. Yeah, very dark. That was really good. Beverly Long had this advice. The best writing advice I've ever gotten is turn the book in on time. While the writing of the book is a bit of an art and magic, the publication side is a business. And as such, others have a right to expect you to perform your work in a business-like manner, always. No exceptions. Be polite, respectful of their time, and provide them the information they need to do their jobs well. Be the writer who is a joy to work with. That is lovely. And Christine Gunderson, our winner from earlier, had this to say about the book that made her a fan.
The first mysteries I ever loved were the Trixie Belden mysteries. I had to save up my allowance to buy each one. There were 39 of them. I read every single one in about 10 minutes. They were unputdownable, and I adored them. And Trixie Belden led me to a lifetime love of mystery novels and romantic suspense.
That is lovely. And as you can imagine, Christine is not the only person that loved the Trixie Belden novels. Liz Angus also wrote in to say, I was a precocious reader. By the time I started school, I was already reading chapter books. And soon I fell in love with the Trixie Belden mystery series, vicariously enjoying adventures Trixie and her friend Honey got up to while solving crimes. The summer I was 9, I spent several weeks writing a mystery novel of my own. Sadly, I don't remember any details, but I loved the writing process. Oh, wouldn't it be fantastic to find that book, Liz? Just like Raimi has hers. And Janine Englert said, the first mystery suspense I remember reading and loving was Nancy Drew. Oh, how many of us read Nancy Drew novels, right? Hers was The Secret of the Old Clock, which I still have on my bookshelf. I remember I didn't want to stop reading and how badly I wanted to be Nancy and solve the mystery. I have loved mysteries ever since, whether it be in books or on the big screen. That's fantastic. So we are going to move on to the short category. Short has nothing to do with our authors and everything to do with the word count of the novels. These are 40 to 65,000 words. Conflicting Evidence by Lena Diaz. In His Protection by P.L. Harris. Dirty Daisy by Jordan Cross. Steal My Heart by Amy O'Brien. And Texas Holiday Hideout by Virginia Vaughn. Congratulations to all of our finalists. For third place, we have Steal My Heart by Amy O'Brien. Congratulations, Amy.
I would really like to thank the Kiss of Death chapter for holding these awards. It's such a tremendous amount of work to hold a contest, and you are doing an amazing job with this ceremony. Next, I want to thank the amazing team at Thule Publishing, and especially my brilliant editor, Julie Sturgeon. Thank you to the San Francisco area writers who befriended me and supported me from the very beginning of my journey to write romance and suspense. To my co-workers, beta readers, and oldest daughter who double as my street team, your input is invaluable. Thank you. And to all my children who believed in me before I did, who listed their mother's occupation as a novelist on their college applications and told all their friends I was an author even before I had a book out. Most of all, thank you to my husband who clears my path and paves the way to my success. I love you. I couldn't have done this without you. My crazy imagine comes up with the stories, but I couldn't have got here by myself. Thank you.
Oh, that was beautiful. Thank you, Amy. Congratulations. And second place in the short published category is Lena Diaz for Conflicting Evidence. Congratulations, Lena.
Thank you. I was about to clap for myself. Sorry. Anyway, thank you very much. I ditto to what everybody else has said. I really appreciate that you guys worked so hard to put this on. Being a finalist again, it just helps me to keep writing. It's been so hard the last year and a half. I've almost had no desire to write. So this was just a real big kick in the pants and really felt good. I really appreciate it. And this Zoom meeting is like almost as good because just seeing other writers, it's just like catnip. It's great. And it just really helps inspire me to keep going. So thank you so much. Congrats, everybody.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. Congratulations, Lena.
Thank you.
And our winner for this category, the short published mystery suspense, we have In His Protection by P.L. Harris. Huge congratulations.
Oh my gosh, that I'm blown away, totally unexpected. Worth getting out of bed at 6 o'clock in the morning to get ready for, to be here. Thank you so much. I really don't know what to say. I burst into tears when you rang me just to tell me I won. Thank you to the Kiss of Death chapter, to the judges, the helpers, everyone who helped out. Sorry, my voice is going a bit very emotional. Thank you to my editor, Nina S. Gooden, who first started me out in writing. So I'm so thankful to her for pushing me on. My awesome cover artist, Victoria Cooper, who just has the best talent for creating a fantastic cover. To everyone who actually ran the awards, to all the other authors, honoured to be in the same category, and to all the other authors who won, congratulations. You've made my day. Thank you.
You are so welcome. Congratulations again. It's fantastic. Dana Mentink had this to share.
So the best writing tip I ever got was, if you want to be a professional writer, you better start acting like a professional. That means you show up every day and you do the work, whether you feel like it or not. For instance, if you were selling shoes for a living, you wouldn't just show up when you felt like it, right? Great tip, huh?
Thank you, Dana. From Amy Lauren, she has this great advice to share. A guide to torturous twists. Oh, good information for this crowd. Make your characters suffer more, never pull your punches, and make your characters feel the consequences of their choices. Excellent. J. Amber Hent had this to say. The best piece of writing advice I've ever gotten came from New York Times bestselling author and Newbery medalist Meg Medina. I met Meg when she spoke to my local writing group about being a career author. She said, to be taken seriously as an author, I first needed to take myself seriously as an author. Her words transformed my entire writing mindset, and I will be forever grateful for that epiphany. Thank you, Meg. Oh, that's fantastic. N.J. Lutza had this to say about the book that made her a fan. The first mystery book I read was Nancy Drew. I knew there was another one in here. I started with number 2, The Hidden Staircase, because the store was out of the first one. Nancy was so smart and brave, and she had George and Bess. Years later, my best friend, who was an elementary teacher, took a children's literature course, and she shared Nancy Drew books followed formulas and didn't encourage creative thinking. To this day, I think that professor was wrong. I agree, NJ, that professor is absolutely wrong. Nancy Drew books rock. Next, we have Ruth Kanafo Sutton and the book that made her a fan. For this immigrant girl, The Hidden Staircase held the key to many mysteries of the world, especially how to become a true American. Was there ever a more powerful image of freedom and fearlessness than Nancy Drew? Blonde hair blowing back as she chased criminals in her blue roadster. I belted my man's trench coat, searched for evidence to crimes, and jotted clues in my detective notebook. From girl sleuth to woman mystery writer. That's fantastic, Ruth. And yes, how could we forget the blue roadster? And P.L. Harris had this to share. When I was growing up, my mother and I used to sit down every week and ready to watch Murder, She Wrote. But it wasn't until I read The Murder of Sherlock Holmes, one of the first Murder, She Wrote books, that I realized my love for mystery books. I was hooked by the wonderful imagery interwoven with the words, and I fell in love with the mystery. And I couldn't wait to turn the page and find the next clue to unraveling it. I have to agree with you, PL. I absolutely love that book, that show. And in all honesty, I found it on one of the streaming services and started watching it again from the beginning. I absolutely love it. Now we have the finalists for the long published category. These are books that have a word count of 65,000 or more. We have Cold and Deadly by Toni Anderson, Beautiful Vengeance by Kaylee Cross, The Paris Model by Alexandra Joel, Jagger, Steel Shadow Investigations by Amanda McKenney, and Bishop's Endgame by Katie Reyes. And in third place, we have Bishop's Endgame by Katie Reyes. Congratulations, Katie. We have Katie online? Don't think we do. That's okay. Congratulations to you, Katie. I'm sure she's excited. And in second place for the long category, we have Amanda McKenney for Jagger. Congratulations!
Sorry, I am completely I am so honored, and I did not, and my kids are about to run in here, but I truly did not plan a speech or anything because I got so nervous, and so I just stopped writing, and so this is what you're left with, so you're welcome. But I am so honored. Thank you to all the judges, the committee, everybody. And I do want to say one quick thing. I want to show this. This is a Toni Anderson coaster, and I won this in one of her contests like years ago, and I'm such a fan of hers. And so to be in the same category as Toni is just like crazy. Oh, and the last thing I wanted to say, I did think about this, is I think this is the third or maybe fourth time I have entered a book in this contest. So I am either the walking example of the value of not giving up or the definition of insanity. I'm not sure which, but to all the other finalists and anybody who's watching, man, keep at it. Just keep improving your writing and keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So anyway, thank you very much. And I'm going to unmute now.
Congratulations, Amanda. That's awesome. And I love that you have that coaster from one of Toni Anderson's giveaways, because she is our winner in this category for Cold and Deadly. Congratulations, Toni. Do we have Toni? No. Missed opportunity. That's all right. Toni, congratulations to you, and thanks for everything that you write. It's really great. Okay, so we're going to move on to Jamie Wright. Jamie is the book that made her a fan. The first mystery suspense book that made a remarkable impact on me outside of Nancy Drew. We have another Nancy Drew fan. Was The House of Seven Gables by Nathaniel Hawthorne. I loved his dark, gothic nature, the characters' integral parts in the stories, and also the layers by which Hawthorne crafted each one, including the house itself. It's a great book. And Jordan Cross had this to say about her encourager. I started writing fiction later in life and was wholly unprepared. I've had amazing support from my family, but the person who encouraged me, supported me, and corrected me before I deserved it was Carol Putzena, a fellow mystery writer. She told me I had great stories and terrible craft, and I am eternally grateful for her. That is great feedback, and I'm so glad that you worked on your craft and became a finalist in this contest. That's fantastic, Jordan. Now, before we head into the final two awards that we are going to hand out, I wanted to remind everybody that the Daphne du Maurier contest will open for entries and judge signups starting in January of 2022. You'll be able to find all of the information at the RWA Kiss of Death website. And we'll be sending out some emails as well, but keep your eyes open, follow us on social media to get all the details. So the next award that we are going to be handing out is the overall winner for published. And this is the person that has gained the most points in compared to all of the published entries. And the winner for that category is T. Cooper for The Cartographer's Secret. And we know that T was not able to join us here today, but we are so excited for her and for this book, and it's absolutely beautiful cover. So congratulations again, T. And then the final award of the night is the unpublished overall winner. Now this award was chosen based not only on the scores from the score sheet of the first round of judges, but based on feedback from those final round judges that I talked about earlier in the ceremony. And the winner of the overall unpublished overall winner, that's how I needed to say that. The unpublished overall winner is The Long Norwegian Night by Christine Gunderson. Christine, would you like to say a few words?
I'm speechless. I have no words except that thank you. This has been amazing, and just thank you. It's an honor to be here, and it's a real honor to win. Thank you.
We're so excited for you. Congratulations again. Congratulations to all of our finalists, to our committee. We want to thank you for everything that it took to put this contest together. We want to thank the board for backing us and for always stepping in and being able to help whenever needed. And we want to thank, we just want to thank you all for being out there and for writing, for believing in this contest, and for writing some of the really, really fantastic stories. Some that will keep us up late at night, and some that just scare us in the dark, and others that we just absolutely cannot put down. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a fantastic night.